This is exactly 7 days later than the last time we were in here suckering tomatoes. This is how much the tomatoes have grown. And this is how much a sucker grows in about 7 days. See this one? See how long it is? Right?
That's a sucker.
Yeah. And see how, since we've suckered the first go around, all of a sudden I have flowers. Because the energy is going more into the flowering than the suckers. Okay? And that's why suckering is important, because it influences the yield.
Right.
Right?
That's a big one.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Okay.
And see, these ones here we suckered last week. And see, all of a sudden we have flower buds starting.
And more sucker coming.
And more suckers coming. So
just keep picking.
you keep picking them off. And when they're small like this, it's easy, right? I obviously did a better job on this side than the other side. Maybe I wasn't talking to you as much. See
So how often do you do? Once a week?
The Department of Agriculture recommends greenhouse tomatoes you sucker once a week.
Once a week.
The field is a little bit slower.
Okay.
And see this one here, the ones on the side. See, that one was left over from last week. This one is from this week. It's not as big, right?
Right.
And the ones that are 2 or 3 weeks old. So this one was left from last week. That means the plant grew this much
Oh wow.
in a week, right?
Right, 5 inch or
5
6?
inches.
Yeah.
Okay. A good tomato plant will grow almost 12 inches.
Well, I remember pine grows a foot per year.
Yeah, that's correct. And as you get as the plants get bigger and bigger, and see these ones are bigger, and see this one was left last week, and see
Yeah, it's big.
that's almost how long? Almost 10 inches, right?
Oh my.
Right.
And water, right? Water helps.
Water, temperature.
Temperature?
You need a nice warm spot.
Yeah.
As you get closer to the top, it's harder to tell, right? But
Right.
the main growing area always has the flower bud. And the flower buds are quite small. You see my finger? How there is a difference. And if you're in doubt, you leave it, then you go 7 days later and it'll be big enough for you to identify it as a sucker, right?
Okay.
And the sucker always comes out where the leaf is attached. See? The leaf is attached to the stem.
That's right.
And it comes right in the middle.
Right.
Okay, see?
Yeah. So,
And the sucker is almost as big as a stem.
right. Sucker's always in the middle, right?
Always in the middle. See where the leaf attaches? And if you left this sucker, it could grow another whole plant. If you stuck that in the ground, you could grow another tomato. And see here? See how the sucker stem is almost as big as the tomato stem. So
right.
Now this one was left from last week, obviously. And it's big enough that I take out with the pruners. And as the plants get bigger and I get busier and busier, guess what? The suckers get bigger and bigger because I miss more. There's 3 suckers. 1, 2, and then there's another little one here.
Right. 'Cause if you take off the main part, then you take basically the flower and fruits
That's
off.
correct.
Yeah.
And then when that happens, what you do is you let them grow, and then you pick one, and then you start over again. But you set your plant back about 3 weeks.
Ooh, that's
So you
big.
don't really want to do that.
No, that's big.
So, especially when you're trying to produce and maximize your production.
Yeah. One year I had, I think it's a yellow pear, the little ones.
Yeah.
They suckered like crazy, like 4 or 5.
The variety that is the worst is there's a coyote variety. Where the flower ends, a sucker comes out. So within the next 2 or 3 weeks, these cherry tomatoes should have tiny tomatoes. And within the next week, we will be taking the transplants out and then trellising these.
Okay.
Actually, I can